The ANC has asked for space to deal with the matter of its Secretary General, Ace Magashule, after he appeared before the party's Integrity Commission on Saturday. Magashule is facing 21 charges of corruption, fraud and money laundering linked to his time as Free State Premier between 2009 and 2018. To unpack the statement by the ruling party, I'm joined by Levy Ndou, a political analyst. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. What did you make of the statement as we saw the ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule making his appearance before the Integrity Committee?
Good morning, Paul. Good morning to the viewers at home. I think this is part of the processes within the ANC, which actually started some few years back. I remember the ANC has got a big challenge with the issues that relates to integrity, that relates to ethical conduct, that also relates to good governance. And that is why they have the Integrity Commission had to be established by the ANC. I see this as some form of a compromise, but also at the same time following processes within the ANC. Expectations from some people were that immediately at the NEC meeting, we would actually get the results that says that Ace Magashule has actually stepped aside. And I think some wanted the slow process, which is also fair, to run. The possibility of Ace Magashule to be pushed to step aside would actually have some negative implications if not properly handled. But also at the same time, the ANC has resolutions that has to be followed and also has to look at the question of unity. So for me, the ANC has to create a balance wherein the unity and cohesion of the ANC is maintained, but also at the same time, dealing with issues that are tarnishing the image of the ANC, and also ensuring that there is fairness and everybody should be seen to be treated in a fair manner and in a manner that will be acceptable to both factions within the party.
We've also heard from some insiders reports saying that ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule has denied being involved in any corruption relating to the 255 million rand Free State asbestos tender during his appearance apparently before the party's Integrity Commission yesterday. As we try and make sense of that statement and looking at the sort of muscle that the Integrity Committee holds, what are some of the expectations there when it comes to accountability?
Very few people would, for the first time, agree that they've done wrong. And even if you hear people appearing in court or when people get arrested, they'll always say that I've done nothing wrong and I'm being victimized or they're arresting the wrong people. So for me, this did not come as a surprise. But I think what we need to look at here is that we are now dealing with an individual who has appeared in court for corruption, which is a very, very serious crime, not only for those who are in the ANC, but for every South African. Remember, in South Africa, one of the biggest challenges that we face, which is spoken about by all political parties and ordinary citizens, is the challenge of corruption. So if one individual is actually being charged for corruption, that becomes a very, very serious matter, and it develops a huge interest amongst ordinary members, not only members of his or her political party. The Integrity Commission, for me, has to look at what are the resolutions of the party in relation to members that are being charged for corruption. What they need to test is whether a senior member who is arrested for corruption brings the name of the party into disrepute. They also need to check whether the appearance of the Secretary General for corruption in court tarnishes the image of the party. I'm not sure about the mandate of the Integrity Commission if they have to look at what then is best for the ANC. Because for me, I expect leaders of the party to act in the best interest of the party and leave selfish interest aside. The unfortunate part in the ANC is that you would still get members of the ANC who would support and make sure that those that are charged with corruption are always being protected, whilst they actually do not focus on the bigger brand of the party. And that, for me, should be a worrying factor for the ANC in South Africa.
We saw an indication of the ANC drawing a line between itself and those leaders who were corrupt when we heard President Cyril Ramaphosa at the ANC NEC, at the August NEC meeting, speaking and reiterating the step-aside rule. What do you make of its relevance now? I mean, we heard Ace Magashule also speaking about how only branches of the ANC which had elected him would have the right to ask him to step aside. Where does this step-aside rule now hang when it comes to the dynamics at play?
I think it's important to note that not only on the matter of stepping aside, but on a number of issues, the ANC is very slow to act on its own resolutions. And it's not only about this one. I think it's important to note that the ANC is the one that took a decision that members should step aside, because the ANC is aware that members that are implicated in corruption and who continue to serve the organization cost the ANC. That has happened when the ANC continued to protect former President Zuma in a similar manner, and they were punished in the elections. And it is the ANC members who are saying that enough is enough with corrupt leaders, and we need to start acting now. The challenge we have with the ANC is that decisions are taken, but when implementation has to start, they will start talking about the legal opinion. Some will start talking about innocent until proven guilty. And they will actually come with a number of issues that will ensure that those that are implicated start pointing fingers at others whom they think are also guilty of certain things. For me, I think for the ANC, they need to have a period in which they say, we need to start with the implementation of our resolutions at whatever cost. I'm also aware that there are some people within the quarters of the ANC who have started making threats that if certain decisions are taken against the Secretary General, then there's going to be unrest or there's going to be a coup d'etat. That is the biggest problem that the ANC has today, that they are selective when it comes to decision making, and the ANC is very slow in terms of implementing their own resolutions. And I know that they are aware that this has serious negative implications on the party as we move forward, because it's a party of language, but not the party of action.
Very well. Thank you so much for your analysis and your time, political analyst Levy Ndou, giving us a sense of the impact of the ANC Integrity Committee as the ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule made an appearance yesterday.